You pull up to a red light, take your foot off the gas pedal, and instead of the engine settling into a nice quiet hum, the tachometer needle stays pinned way too high, making it sound like you are trying to race the person in the lane next to you, or worse, the engine just flat out dies. This is the classic behavior of code P3519, which means your idle air control system performance is completely out of whack. In most modern cars, the computer uses a linear servomotor to control a tiny plunger that regulates how much air can bypass the throttle plate when you are not pressing the gas. Think of it like the engine's way of breathing while its main mouth is closed. If that plunger gets stuck or the motor fails, the computer loses control over the idle speed. If the engine revolutions per minute fail to match what the powertrain control module has programmed into its brain, it triggers the malfunction indicator lamp and starts making your life difficult. This is a severe code because a car that stalls in the middle of an intersection is a huge safety hazard. The number one reason this happens is the invisible enemy, carbon buildup. Over tens of thousands of miles, oily soot from the intake builds up a thick black ring around the throttle plate and the idle air control valve, physically jamming the mechanism. You can often fix this yourself with a can of throttle body cleaner and a soft brush, but you have to be incredibly gentle because those electronic motors are fragile. Another very common culprit is a massive vacuum leak. If there is a cracked rubber hose or a leaking gasket anywhere after the throttle body, unmetered air sneaks into the engine, causing the idle to skyrocket. A great old-school trick is to unbolt the idle air control valve and use a shop rag and your fingers to manually restrict the air entering the port. If you can bring the idle back down to normal by doing that, you know the valve is the problem and not a leak elsewhere. Grab your DVOM and check the resistance of the motor windings against the factory specifications. If the wiring and the valve are perfect, you might need to check for a technical service bulletin to see if your car needs a software update to recalibrate the idle logic. Whatever you do, do not ignore it, because a high idle will cook your brakes and a stalling engine will leave you stranded when you least expect it.